Sean,
Great.
glad to have you on, brother.
Thanks for having me, my man.
So,
Good to be here.
don't judge me, but I tried to shave my own beard this morning. There's a little bit. I was tickling it this morning.
Missed a bit of a patch.
But to let you know, Sean's my barber and has been for a while. But, mate, how long have I known you now?
I think we're going towards the 10 plus years now. Right?
It'd be up there. And I actually know, well, I'm digressing a little bit, but we'll get into that bit soon. But you're obviously not originally from New Zealand.
No.
And do a lot of people, obviously, when they meet you, do they know you're not from New Zealand? Because you do.
Majority can't really tell unless I choose to tell.
Yeah.
And the conversations that come up.
Yeah. And because you originally came from Iran, didn't you?
Absolutely. Yeah. So born in Iran, but pretty much raised. Half of my life has been raised here. The other half has been raised in Pakistan. So we lived as a refugee. We ran away.
Yeah. So you came to New Zealand as a refugee.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Aye. No, Dad had to escape. I was 8 years old. Dad had to escape for religion issues. Not that I have anything against any religion or anyone. Of course. But at the time, Dad was under a lot of pressure. So not being a Muslim in Iran, we had to run away. So he had to escape. So he pretty much sacrificed everything. And we ended up in Pakistan for 5 years.
How was that? So how old were you then?
I was at the time, so 8 when we left Iran. When we escaped. My brothers were all younger. My sister was older. So it was just me and my sister, the eldest. We ended up in Pakistan after being smuggled in sack of potatoes and onions and a bag of youth just to cross the border.
Really?
Yeah. I've seen some shit, man.
Wow.
We eventually reached Pakistan and ended up spending 5.5 years of our life there. There was a UN that was set up at a time where they will interview all the families. You know, what's the reason of escaping? What's the reason of you being here? How can we support you? And then who can we pass your profile to so they can accept you as a refugee, whether it was Australia, America. New Zealand was the last option for us.
Yeah.
America came and knocked on the door. There was about 7,000 families there at the time. And whoever that could afford to leave, they all left.
Wow.
Because majority of the families, they had, majority of them were adults. There weren't so many kids in the family. So for my dad in particular, it was a bit hard to pack and leave and go to States with 5 little ones. Yeah. Zero English.
Why was it harder to go to the States?
Just work-wise, financial-wise.
Oh, right.
So Dad couldn't obviously work to feed 5 people. Where back home it was a little bit possible because that's what he used to do. So possibilities back home were a bit more easier for him, but going to state definitely was an option. So we ended up getting stuck for 5 years. Australia came. We couldn't go there either. Mom had medical issues that they didn't accept at the time.
Yep.
And New Zealand came and they said, hey, we're accepting 15 families. And there was only 2 of us left. 2 families. It was us and an Afghan family that are still here. I'm in contact with the boys as well.
No shit.
Yeah, their cases were sport casing, so they were quite athletic.
Right.
So that was their case. They wanted to get out and achieve things and, do things. Where our case was we either pretty much leave or end up being 6 feet under.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Eventually we got here though.
Yeah.
That was about 15 years ago now. No, not 15 years ago. This is going back almost 1997 we came here. So
97.
how many years is that?
Well, we're the same age, give or take a month. So I'm so bad at maths.
Yeah. I can't care, but it's been a while. It's been a while. I'm Kiwi, man.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And so you obviously did some schooling and stuff here.
Started at 4th form, which was pretty tough. I didn't know how to speak a word of English, so I got my first high school was Cleanser High School in Napier.
Oh yeah,
because that's where Dad.
Oh, you're in Napier as well.
Napier, man. Yeah.
Ding 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 ding. No jokes. I'm from New Plymouth, bro. I can say that.
The amount of racism that we had to deal with.
I mean, that's what I mean.
Which now I think back, and it makes sense because we're completely outsiders.
Yeah.
I was a geek. I had bushy hair and.
But even then, like to punch on that, it's interesting because are we like UFC and stuff? Israel Adesanya went to the worst place in the world, which is Wanganui. Sorry, Wanganui. And then Napier's probably not too much better. I'm going to make some enemies in this one. No, but the culture, main cultures in New Zealand for like, traditionally have been like, expat, UK,
Yes.
obviously South Africans.
Yep.
There's an abundance of them.
A lot of Indians, yeah.
But like obviously different Arab nations have come in a lot, Indians, and then obviously Asian stuff as well.
Yes.
Like super multicultural now. But I think when you get to the smaller places of New Zealand, it is kind of like that. It was like that for Izzy, and it's,
for sure.
Just making the comparison because, even going from Auckland, and I'm definitely not comparing, by the way, going from Auckland down to Taranaki when I was 10,
huge
shit,
difference.
man, that was a culture shock.
100%.
I mean, it was all white boys and stuff when I went to school, mostly on the North Shore, yes. But then going down there, totally different.
Yeah, it's crazy,
totally different. So I can only
It took us
imagine
2
what it
years.
was like.
It took us 2 years for Dad to realize, okay, we definitely are not fitting here. Because I changed 2 schools in that 2 years. It was Cleansville High School and then Napier Boys High, which got worse.
Yeah.
I used to vag school, bell will ring, just, escape.
Yeah.
Go sit by the beach, have my lunch, do my thing, and then 3 p.m. put the uniform back on and go home. That's how I survived pretty much for that 2 years there. It was tough, but as soon as we decided to, let's pack up and leave, come to Auckland, that's when we started actually experiencing what New Zealand has to offer, to be honest.
Yeah.
And what the culture's got to offer, what the school can offer, and then what we can contribute.
Yeah.
And it just
a little bit more
works.
open-minded.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Multicultural, so here we are.
No, that's awesome. And because your brother lives in Christchurch?
Yes, I have a brother that lives in Christchurch. My younger one's here with me in Auckland, and we have one that lives in Austria.
Oh, wow.
Yep, I have a younger brother. That's the youngest one.
Yeah.
He lives in Austria, and my sister lives in DC. So all of us are sort of
spread out.
Yeah.
But obviously all came to New Zealand first and then.
Yeah. Apart from my sister pretty much got married when we were in Pakistan and she sort of went her way. Yep.
Okay,
cool.
One
thing. And 4 of us boys.
Well, I mean, looking at it from that perspective, I mean, like it's coming from where you went from, where you are and, the time I've known you. I mean, that's like,
it's been a journey.
Been a journey.
Yes.
And in terms of, so I know you were a DJ, and I'm sure I saw you.
Yep.
What was your name? What's your name? It's DJ
Linium. Linium, yes.
Because you were DJing for a number of years, eh? That was kind of...
All up it was 15 years. 12 years of it was my bread and butter.
Yeah.
And even that was really hard to crack into. I was always involved in music as a child. I used to sing a little bit. Used to play instrument, but never could wrap my head around notes and learning how to actually play the keys. So I was listening to something and then literally just replicating it. So I got into DJing. That was very tough, especially for mom and dad to accept it.
Yeah. That's another thing, like
culture.
Because obviously, the culture they're used to, and it's not kind of out there. It's not
at all. Everything is, everyone's just, sort of just, being in their own.
Like tattoos.
Oh, yeah. all of this was a big culture shock for both parents.
Didn't you wear a jumper or something?
For 7 years, man.
Even in summer, right?
For 7 years in summer, just out of respect for my father. And it's quite funny. There's a funny story with that.
Oh, that's funny.
We were around the dinner table, and my son, at the time, he was only about maybe 4 or 5. And I just picked him up from daycare, and we were just having a late lunch. I would call it a late lunch. Middle Easterns, we like to eat our lunch at 5 p.m. So it was a late lunch on the table, and then conversation started about a dragon. And my 5-year-old son at the time pretty much dopped me in by telling my dad,
so honest.
"Hey, granddad, dad got a dragon in his chest. I got a big dragon that's in here, falls asleep." And that was like, shit, man. What are you talking about?
And how old were you then? Because
I must have been probably 24.
Yeah, so 24. You're like
still a kid, man.
Still a kid. See, we can say that because we're, older now.
Yeah.
But then you say, "Oh, I'm a man." But you're still scared of your freaking dad.
Dad had a good look.
Yeah.
Then he gave me the, the dad eyes, disappointment eyes. And I just respected that until it came to a point. He said, "You know what? Just give up. Just you don't need to wear jackets in summer." But I was more worried about.
Oh man.
See that the mentality of a old school Middle Eastern parent is they always worry about what everybody else think. And unfortunately, that behavior has just been carried on and on and on and on and on.
And still like that now, you
and it's still
reckon?
the same. And it's still the same. You know,
Even
especially in
with
the Western countries.
but even with like Kiwi culture, like
Absolutely.
tattoos, is obviously very
And
open
tattoos
here.
back then in Iran, you know, only the bad people, no, I'm not talking about gangs and
No,
only
but
the
like,
bad people would have, you know, these tattoos, and the people that will cause problem and harm other people.
right.
So
it had a stigmata around it.
really,
Kind of thing.
really bad image around it. So when I ended up with 2 sleeves, Dad was just like,
They were like thinking you're like,
what are you doing?
don't leave your backpack over there.
Yeah, pretty much. Until I had to explain everything that's on my body. It's pretty much the pictures that I carry with me all the time, and it all represents my life, the hard life that I've gone through, and family and kids, and so it's nothing random.
But do they, like your mum, and obviously,
Eventually, yes,
you know,
yes.
So that was another thing. I mean, and I don't want to, because we've talked about it at length, like, you know, your dad was a big part of your life. He was, you know, same with me. We connected a bit because obviously both losing our dads at you know, different times, because I think my dad was like 11, he's 12 this year. But what was your dad?
It will be 9 this year.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, that's one thing that I think, you know, we both, once we had the discussion, sort of being kind of like, you know, the man of the family kind of thing, and taking over, and in many ways, regardless of whether you're doing, you know, the right thing, wrong thing, you're still kind of
it's a big responsibility, man.
Yeah. And you're taking care of your mum, and
I have, and I'm still doing my best to do so. You know, I have a family of my own.
Yeah.
You know, 3 kids, married. So to be able to divide and find that balance. So I make sure she's okay, she has what she needs, but then I'm okay, and I can give my time to what my kids need.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be a bit challenging, especially with the whole family being so spread it around. But, you know, we got to make it work. And Mom's a tough cookie. She's 65 now.
Yeah.
Very independent, you know. So she's also been through a hard life, and she's seen so much with her own eyes. Which has sort of made all of us as a family a very solid unit, and all of us are very independent in our own ways. I wouldn't say we are the most closest.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, shit as the fan, you always
you band together. Because I suppose, hey, look, you guys definitely aren't, and you're not that kind of person either. You don't sweat the small stuff.
Not at all. Like, it's just life's too short, man. Life's too short,
which I do like.
Yeah.
Have adopted a little bit of your mentality. Right. So, and so how'd you get into barbering?
Barbering, man. So,
because you're nuts good at barbering.
Do my best.
Also, like,
do my best.
More expensive than everyone, but I'm going to put a point to that though.
Yes.
You pay. It's quality. It's
premium price.
It's premium price, but it's a safe, friendly environment, and it's just you. You know, obviously, because you run your own business. I met you when you were at another barbershop, obviously, but it's also, you know, you've won awards, you train people, you've got the groomsmen, you're sponsored by like one of the biggest, if not the biggest brand in clippers with
Wall.
I never say it, I always say Wall, but Wall. I mean, look, I think it's also your type of personality you're following. I mean, you got lots of followers on Instagram, and you know, but how did you actually get into barbering?
It's quite a journey, bro. When it was time for me to hang the headphones up, it was the toughest decision I had to make, because till this day I still miss playing the music. I don't miss the nightlife as such and the environment of it, because it just started getting nasty. But I miss being in control of, you know, making people dance and move and hack and scream and, you know, all that sort of jazz. I had my fun with it. I traveled even overseas, did quite a lot of gigs in Thailand, the whole of Australia. Indonesia was pretty much like my second home at one stage. And I got to meet my wife in the nightclub, you know, at the time.
So she can't be a hypocrite.
No, not at all, no. So it does work. Well, it did work. I don't know about now.
Work.
But when it was time for me to pretty much just hang up the headphone and move on and just fall into a career where I can survive, for some odd reason, barbering constantly came into the picture. But how I got into it is I went and got a haircut myself. I was quite depressed because it was about 2 months that I had fully given up DJing.
Yeah.
I had enough saving to survive. And I just looked in the mirror. I was like, you know what? I need to go tidy myself up. So I
Yeah.
went and sat in the chair that my own barber at the time in New Lynn. And as he was cutting my hair, I just sort of started looking around going, do I really, I have no choice but to start working as a 9 to 5.
Right.
But what kind of 9 to 5? For 15 X amount of years, I've never had anyone telling me what to do, where to go, what you can drink, what you can wear. Can I really handle being in an office, being told where I can have lunch, when I can have my coffee?
Yeah. When you can go home.
Yep. And, honestly, I didn't even have an updated CV for 15 years because it was just nightlife. I ran my own show. I did my own gigs. Everything was just going. So I turned around and asked my barber, can you teach me how to cut hair? He obviously couldn't because he had business to run, 9 staff at the time. So I offered my services by just hanging around for a couple of weeks to see if I liked the environment, if there's something
so just sort of like shadowing
just shadowing around. So I started sweeping the floors, folding the towels, and just watching, constantly just looking, see where can I see myself in this field. Ended up working for him for 3.5 years.
No shit.
But in that 3.5 years, I learned so much about people. When you're on a stage under the limelight, it's just you and you. There's a bit of a distance. So
and you're just seeing like people.
Yeah. So now I was directly face to face
engaging,
and sort of understanding, man, there's some real issues here. There's some real problems here, especially with men. And it was quite eye-opening. And I wouldn't say every barber, as soon as they enter the field, they're going to notice that. Or maybe nowadays they can because times have changed. But for me, the most interesting part was when men will come in and how they feel when they get out. Now, some they felt like crap because the cut was crap. Some they felt good because the cut was good. Maybe the conversation was crap. It was just a mixture of emotions. So in that 3 years, all of this just started handpicking, selecting who's vibing with me, who do I really enjoy cutting.
So you were building your client base,
pretty much.
Awesome.
Building a client base without you were stealing the business.
Were you still picking into, like, obviously if someone comes in, you nearly cut whatever, but in terms of like engaging, did you always, because it's like any job you do, you were engaging more so with people that you know you could gel with
100%.
Yeah,
obviously respected everyone the same, delivered the same service
of course.
Throughout. But just like yourself, some people that come sit in your chair and as soon as you start with that small conversation, you just click.
Yeah.
And the rest is just the history.
Yeah.
So first 3 years was just picking and choosing clientele, learning what to do, how to do it. Whether it was the wrong way or the right way, I survived. I survived it and I thought, you know what? Yep, this is the field I want to be in. Now, how can I elevate? How can I do better? Because I don't want to be this typical barber. No offense to any other barber out there. I just don't want to be the guy that pick up a clipper and cut hair. There's more into it. There's got to be more to it.
Yeah.
And fast forwarding almost 12 years, past 4 years, I've been pretty much running my own show at home.
I mean, not pretty much. Yep. You have been. Your brand is, yeah.
And, I decided to extend out there and see what's missing. So one of the key things that's missing is the grooms, for example.
Yeah.
I somehow work on the pressure really well. I perform really well under pressure. I don't know why. But being able to travel to different locations in New Zealand on the day of someone's wedding, to be able to like give them a shave, full cutthroat traditional, give them a cut without any nicks or bruises or any mess, has been a true blessing. And it's also taught me a lot. It's taught me discipline. It's taught me responsibility.
But also giving back to dudes, because hey, on a wedding, for weddings,
it's the most important
woman, like the dudes is like chuck a suit on,
that's it,
brush your hair, and you're out there, traditionally. But then women, it's like a 12-hour shift, like from like 3 a.m. to they've got a makeup artist, and it's
the most challenging part for me, Craig, has been being a one-man band and explaining to men out there that self-grooming is important.
Yeah.
Because it makes you feel good, it makes you look good, and obviously the conversations that then will come by.
Yeah.
I've learned so much from people's mistake.
Yeah.
But not just that, I've learned so much from people's success. I've learned so much about people making different moves. Just being in that environment, being in that space that I can have that one-on-one conversation has helped me to a point sort of shape my path in life.
And your business.
And the
That's
business,
the one
of
thing I
course.
was going to say as well. And I mean, I could be feeling shit, and especially but
And you have turned up actually
Yeah.
feeling like shit.
but having a good cut
Yes.
makes you feel like, oof. I mean, even eventually when I was coming, because I pretty much was coming weekly, but then I was getting, you know what, a lot of people, well, I'm sure it's off the cuff, but like a lot of dudes especially, they'd give me shit. Oh, yeah, got another haircut. Oh, man, I was like, they also don't realize that, hey, to be honest, when I used to, how many times you're like a therapist, bro.
Well, this is what I was actually about to say. Majority of the
You know?
clients, I don't like to call you guys clients. A majority of the boys, because it's been 10 years plus.
Yeah.
Majority of the boys that actually do come in, when they come in and they're all scruffy, I get it. Cool. You need a cut. But when they come back for a touch up, to me, that's because they got something on their chest and they just don't have anyone to talk to.
Yeah.
And 99% of the time, that's been the case.
Yeah. But I think it's because also you're like, I know, like, we're really good mates, right?
Absolutely.
Like, but even in a way, it's still like, yeah, you could be biased towards how I'm feeling and want to make me feel good or whatever. But I think it's also, for a lot of guys, it's like you're kind of like that third party in a way, and with respect, but trying to, because like you're not held under the Privacy Act, but you're an honest, loyal, transparent guy.
Yeah.
And it's like a little cone of silence thing, but being able to go and sit in a barber chair, and be able to just, hey man, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And then you can like, just you unload, but you leave feeling good and with a mean haircut.
Yeah.
But I think that's the thing that I think most guys value especially with you, And
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate the fact that people have found better trust,
safe place,
and a safe place, most importantly. And this is the space I wanted to create. I mean, when I got pushed out of the shop, it wasn't by choice. COVID hit, shit at the fan. That's in the past.
Yeah.
But when it was time for me to start my own show, one of the main priority was, okay, how can I create a safe space? Because I'm no longer at the store, I'm no longer in the CBD. People can no longer just pull in. I'm in a suburb where you've been before, where there's no foot traffic, there's no shop. As a matter of fact, if you don't live in the area, you have no business even driving down that road.
No, I mean, it's also a cul-de-sac.
Exactly, right?
No one's going down there.
Which is painful to find a car park. So I just cut that out.
Yeah.
But just to be able to create a safe space for men to come in and have an honest conversation, that's been the biggest blessing, man.
But also we talk about business all the time, and you've obviously you're client of mine and vice versa. But like these challenges like post-COVID and setting up your own business, also setting up the spot you have, it takes a lot of guts, and also
man.
it's tough. But I think you've not having a shop front, your client base has stuck with you. I mean,
the loyalty, man.
How many people didn't? I mean, obviously there's people that probably walked around the corner from where you were then, but you've also, what you've created with, your social media presence, your website's fantastic, your booking system. So, it's investment, it's time, but I think it's also just you are good on social media. Your Instagram,
I try to
stuff.
Not the best at it. I'm still behind compared to a lot of people. It's just a full-time job, man.
Yeah, but you've done it all on your own, and I think that's commendable as well.
No, I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
And that would be that's a big thing. Like, so many people know who you are when they talk about, like, oh, have you seen Sean? Then and I say, oh, do you see Sean? It goes, no, I just know you go to Sean.
Yeah.
So it's Sean the Barber brand and stuff like that as well. Yeah, but I think, digressing a little bit back to that, I think, that's a big thing that, there should be barbershop chat, like regular chat. And it's almost like, something that, guys don't chat enough.
Not at all. And believe me, past 8 years in particular, I feel like I'm doing my part. There's a lot of great barbers out there. There's a lot of great people out there that are doing big things.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially when it comes to mental health and blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to my little hub,
Your little community.
my little community,
Yeah.
I've just tried to normalize that it's okay to talk.
Yeah.
It's okay to feel like crap. It's okay to cry.
Yeah.
Do it all here. Now, I've also had to practice myself how to not become the victim
Yeah.
and handle my mental health side of things as well. Because some days, man, honestly, it's just my cup is either really full
Yeah.
and I got all this energy that I don't even know where to eject it.
Mm.
And then there are times that I'm just drained.
Yeah. But I've come in and one day we sat there and I think, you know, it was probably 10, 15 minutes because I could tell you were.
I was down.
And it was reverse.
Yes.
I mean, I didn't cut your hair, but, you know, it was the reverse.
But the conversations help.
In terms of listening and talking and stuff like that. And I think that's the, you know, that's the benefit about, you know, having people that you can rely on. But from a dude's point of view, like, yeah, you're one of only, you know, 1, 2, technically, I think I've only got about 2, 3 people that are really, they know exactly what may be going on, but I'd say it's mainly you and maybe one other person. Yeah. Not even my brothers and stuff because, you know, I don't know.
And that to me, bro, there's a lot of men that I deal with just like yourself. Each of them has their own story. Each of them gone through their own journey, their own pain, their own trauma, whatnot. But I respect that about people that come in and
it's no judging too.
No, not at all. Because there's a rule with my 4 walls. Whatever we speak about stays in those 4 walls. As a matter of fact, the way I've set the place up, unless someone asks me, what's this wall about? And if I explain to you what the wall is about, then it will hit you.
Yeah.
So the way I've set the place up as well is just as soon as you walk in, you can feel the comfort, even if it's your first time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't have to talk. That's fine. I respect that. I have clients that come sit there and they're like,
plus you've got
I'm
nice
just here.
No, always have good tunes.
Good tunes, you know, nice aircon. Finally. Finally, it took me 3 years.
Yeah, that was a bit hard. Okay.
Yeah. I had to make everyone sweat for it first. But
it was more getting up off the chair, bro. I was like, sorry, bro. You got like a wet wipe or something? Yeah.
But no, it's been great, man. It's been a blessing, bro.
Yeah.
It's been a blessing.
No, it's awesome. And I mean, like, I really value your friendship and obviously
likewise
being able to talk about stuff. And I just think it's something that, you know, is I have to commend you for that because I know you do it for a lot of dudes and talk to, you know, maybe you just get a PhD in therapy or something.
It's quite funny because my auntie, she's on the wife's side, she is a psychologist.
Yeah.
And she's been pushing me. You know? She's been pushing me. Why don't you? It's like, let me just do my therapy in my four corners.
Yeah. And I think it's just, you know, people going to, like, this is a funny thing. You tell a guy, oh, you need to go talk to someone. And there are people that need to talk to an actual professional, right?
Absolutely.
And this is just my opinion. Don't judge me, anyone. But I've been to what I thought was anger management back in 2011. I had a incident moment after the Rugby World Cup. Yep. Almost headbutted my best friend at the time. And then I ended up taking off to my mate's place, American guy. He was like living, and he'd been at the game. It was the final against France. And when I broke down in his kitchen, and I trusted him, it was a safe place with him. And I said, look, is there something wrong with me? Because everyone's said I've got a temper and bits and pieces. And I said, I feel like I do need to go and talk to someone or whatever. And he goes, in his, Southern California accent, bro, everyone needs to talk to someone. Yeah. And I was like, sweet. So Monday, checked myself in. After 2 weeks of seeing this woman, and it was expensive, but it was worth it. I was 20, 24, something like that. She said, you know what, Craig, you're one of the most amazing, loving, caring young men I've ever met. You know, the thing is, no one's ever asked you how you are.
That's the big problem.
And, not even my mates. I had mates that they would get me into fights and they would, use me as a little pit bull and stuff. But what I'm saying is the talking to the person, someone professionally, they could see that there was nothing wrong with me. Yeah. I am actually the happy-go-lucky kind of person, but it's, I didn't have someone that I could talk to. Yeah. I didn't have, my dad was rough and tumble, God rest his soul, but he was, punch someone first, ask questions later. Yeah. It was a very different, he grew up in Glasgow, Scotland. It's, a very different area, but making sure you can talk to someone. But like I say, professionals, whatever, the studies show that if you go to, like they talk about guys that go to barbers, guys that have like a beer maybe once a week with a mate or whatever, or that guys should talk twice a week.
Absolutely,
in some sort of setting, whether it's group or whatever, but not like it's just a natural group setting or it's a natural, go to the barber shop and stuff like that. That's more what they need.
Yeah.
Well,
it goes back to,
I think,
just get on with it. She'll be all right.
Oh, she'll be right. Yeah.
So that
Kiwi attitude.
It's slowly starting to change.
Yeah.
Because I've even noticed like more men are, they're more vulnerable. They come out and they talk. But my encouragement to all the lads out there is,
talk to dudes, though, not to women.
Sorry, I'm going to piss people off. No,
but that's the whole thing about
women have women to talk to.
But also the thing is, you're vulnerable with a woman, and I mean, look, I've been vulnerable with girlfriends and all sorts. But you're vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
I swear to God, they use it against you. If I've said something, if I said, my mental health, then they start mentioning my mental health.
Yeah. So I'm going to break something to you.
But with guys, it's different.
Yeah. So I'll break something to you. This is what my therapist said to me once upon a time, which really opened my eyes and my mind to everything. And I'm going to share it on here. Think of yourself as a square.
Yeah.
Right? You're the square, and there are millions other squares out there, which you can fit your square into their square. Right. Well, why is it that you're trying to fit your square into a circle? Now, circle meaning your partner. Regardless if it's a guy, if it's a girl, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This goes for everyone. Why is it that you're trying to fit your square into someone else's circle? The second you can write down and realize that why would then be, comes with sacrifices. The things you need to do, the things she needs to do. Compromises.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of that's been demolished.
Yeah.
People don't know how to compromise. People are gone too stubborn.
It's about to say stubborn. Yeah.
People are, it's my way or the highway. And that's fine because it's just human nature. But at what point do we break that cycle? When I became a father, that was my number one promise to myself. And before my daughter was born, which was like 4.5 years ago, I said to myself, I sat down and I said to myself, my father was great. He made a lot of sacrifices to get me where I am today, to give me the freedom.
Yeah.
To be able to even sit here right now.
Yeah, man.
So whatever he did, and for me personally, doesn't matter. But what can I do to break that cycle, to be the better dad for my kids, and then for them to break my cycle and be better for their kids?
Yeah.
I think everyone should actually sit there and have a checklist.
Yeah.
If you can start checking, and it's easier said than done. I know life has pressure. Relationship is a lot of work. It's not a one-way road. Two people got to work at it. But yeah, I feel like more communications.
I think, like I say, we talk a lot, but it's, and even the problems that, the issues that come up that we talk about, and it's like same, but different.
Yes.
And it is, but it's, we could talk.
But going back to what you said before, so we don't get sidetracked, man should be able to talk to men.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong talking to a woman. But you gotta also remember the way woman brain works. No offense to any females. The way females think is different to how we think. Our emotions are different to females. Females' emotions are different to us. That's why sometimes we clash. So I may say something to my partner that will have valid point and reasons, but it may not sit with her the way that's coming out.
No, man, it's totally...
And that's the same. She may say something to me that has a full valid point, but I may not like the way it's coming across. So that's when it goes clash, crumble.
I just think there's been more intense stuff because of how...
Oh, absolutely, man.
Like, last year was, we always say, it's been a tough few years, whatever.
For everyone.
But I'm a glass half full, not half empty.
Yeah. I'm the same. I'm a clown.
But when you get to a point where it's that much and you're like, October last year, I was like, we've talked about this. If I didn't have Kim, she's a blessing, but I just hated humans. I just didn't want to speak to anyone.
That's completely normal, man.
I just wanted to go, how do I get to just like sit on an island somewhere by myself and just chill out so much that I can come back so recharged. It doesn't matter what comes at me. Because, that's the first time in my life I was feeling.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, Oh,
100%, man. 100%.
But, so
Tough.
that was one thing we didn't get on. So you've got 2 beautiful kids.
Three.
Sorry,
Three.
Sorry, your eldest boy. So he's down country slightly, eh?
Yep.
Yeah.
He lives in Wairau with his mother. So that was my firstborn. With the ex-wife, ex-partner. He's now almost 19. He'll be 19 in April.
Yeah.
Pretty much passed all his paperwork and what he needed to do to get into the Navy.
Yeah.
So he starts in Navy this year, and I'm super proud of him.
Yeah. That's
as
cool.
a father of 3, it's always good to turn back and go, okay, I don't have to focus on this teenager to show him because you got to focus on the other 2. So shit can get.
And I mean that's the thing. It's amazing, and obviously he's going off to do that. And look, I mean, the disciplines and stuff that he's probably going to learn, and even trades and stuff, engineering or whatever it may be. But the gap, I mean,
it's a huge gap.
And how old's Kobe?
Kobe's now 1.5.
Yeah, 1.5.
Yeah, Coco's 4.5.
Yeah,
and he's almost 19. But he's such a great big brother.
Yeah,
because he has 2 twins. A set of twin.
Yeah,
at his mom's place. So he's also learned how to adapt with those sort of ages and how to be a good babysitter, but at the same time be a big brother, a good role model.
And good learning for him too. Yeah, 100%.
And his mother,
100%.
She's done a fantastic job. But yeah, man, I mean, the way I look at life, Craig, it's all our responsibility to break cycles and just be the best version of ourselves. And like I said, saying it is always easier than doing it, but there are ways that you can tackle it and attack it just to be the best for you. Don't worry about anybody else.
But but you take care of your whole family, and I mean, obviously, work. Work is obviously something that, but your work-life balance, that's one thing I wanted to get on. So you're nuts. Like, you're actually nuts. So you get up at 3 a.m.
Yes, I'm 3 a.m. club.
And then you're at the gym by 4, eh? 4 a.m.?
Lately it's been 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Because I've been a bit naughty and going to bed late.
Yeah.
Late being 10:30. But usually I'm scanning my card at 3:30.
Yeah. So nuts. So in the gym, and then you're home. When do you start working 6 a.m.
6 a.m. I'll take my first appointment.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty much home, quarter to 22 to 6.
Yeah. And which is one awesome thing, because you saw a gap also, because there's a lot of people who, they couldn't come during the day, and obviously you didn't want to work later, or they had responsibility. So when could these people get a cut?
And that's when the balance
it was between 6 and freaking 8 a.m.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever seen you before 8:30, 9 o'clock, something like that. But that's so that's another thing that you did. But then you're doing your gym before even the kids have woken up. You get back, and then obviously you're into work and stuff. And then you kind of go till, is it 3:30?
About 3:30, 4 o'clock is my latest. 4 o'clock is when I'm cleaning up pretty much.
Yeah, so you're cleaning up. But
unless you're Craig and,
Yeah.
Now, if it's a close friend, someone like yourself, man, then obviously it's a different story. But in terms of opening the books to public, no, I just needed to find that balance, because, like I said, you can't sit there and go, I'm going to break this cycle, I'm going to break that cycle. Oh, yeah, I'm a father. But when there's no action, you're just fooling yourself.
But what the 3 a.m. thing, is that for you to have the time to do it?
Absolutely.
Or?
So the 3 a.m., check it out this way, man. So,
because, man,
when baby was born,
you've been, I don't know.
When baby was born, I had to pull back, and I enjoyed it. I loved every second of it. I had to pull back and go, okay, the life we once had is completely not changed. It's nobody's fault. This was our family decision. We wanted a family. Cool. Now we have a family. So how do I get to do things that I want to do?
Yeah.
And it's the same vice versa for mom, right? How does she get to do the things? Unfortunately, at the moment, she has no balance, because both kiddos are just mommy, being breastfed.
Yeah.
It's been hard. And I feel bad for her. But slowly she's now finding the ground. For myself, how can I find the balance to be present, to have energy, to be a husband, to be a father, to be a businessman, and to be Sean? So the answer was, get up early, make some sacrifices, go to bed early, get up early, now that you're up early, what are you going to do? For me, the 3 a.m. started when we were bang on the middle of a lockdown. Wifey was pregnant, baby was kicking. It was hot summer, no aircon. So I was constantly, every time she tossed and turned, I was like, is everything all right? Then it got to a point I was like, man, I'm bored. I'm up. I can't sleep because I'm a very light sleeper.
Yeah.
So I started sneaking out of the house just by doing, around the local community, doing a walk.
Yeah.
Then I ended up at the Browns Bay Beach catching sunrises without a soul being in the beach.
Yeah.
That's when ideas started coming in.
Oh, that's right. You were, that's because you weren't actually gymming. You were actually
I was
doing.
Just walking up, and I was doing 20,000 steps within the first hour or something.
Yeah,
just walking up and down, listening to podcasts, trying to come up with different proposal ideas. I'm not just a barber. I don't just want to be saying the cutting hair. So what can I do? So the whole idea of Barber Evolution, the platform I created for education.
Yeah.
It came
we haven't even spoken about that.
No, it sort of struck me at 4 a.m. While I was walking on the beach. It wasn't the greatest time of my life at the time.
Yeah.
Because everyone was suffering financially. So I had to think of a way of breaking through. And decided to come up with the platform Barber Evolution, Barber being a barber, Evolution explaining the evolution of barbering. And you won't believe it, Craig, at 4:30 a.m. I just started making this random average flyer on my phone by just copy pasting things and on using Instagram, just creating this little tiny flyer, and I just send it out to the universe.
Yeah.
By 9 a.m. I had 17 workshops locked in.
Yeah.
That's when it hit me. Shit, I have no content.
Yeah.
I have no booklet. I don't even know where do I even start.
Yeah, I remember.
So that was enough for me to start taking those steps.
But that you did the ballsy bit, and which was just putting yourself out there and doing it. But I mean, how many?
It's been running.
You've done workshops around
5 years.
How many parts of the country now?
I've taught the whole New Zealand 3 times.
Yeah,
I'm talking
barbershop codes and all sorts.
I've been a barbershop tutor for the past 4 years.
Yeah,
the in-house tutor.
Yep.
I've done places from Avanui that I never thought there would be a salon there. I've done things for hairdressers from top of the country right up down to Dunedin. So,
yeah.
Again, it's been a blessing, but it's amazing how much energy you put in, you'll get the same in return.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of person I feel like you're very similar to me. If you're around good energy, you're thriving, man.
Yeah.
The second bad energy comes in, it shuts you down. I'm like that.
Yeah.
And I'm still till this day trying to work on it. How can I...
Or let shit get to you, eh?
And it's, it's not necessarily the tiny shit. It's the things that as humans we expect. And I'm not the kind of person to expect anything from it, because expectation always leads into failure.
Yeah. Have no expectation and then you don't get disappointed.
That's it. There's no disappointment.
Because most people do get disappointed with stuff.
Absolutely.
Especially with
everyone expects
with
something.
what we do. Like, and I will talk, a little bit about insurance, just one. But like, with clients, I let go of 4 clients last year because they were rude to Kim, say, because they were, and I took it real personally, man.
Yeah.
Like, and it was bad because I, like, even one of them, I was like, basically, swore them on the phone.
Yeah.
But then, Kim was like, hey, don't take it personally. I didn't. I just thought they were rude fuckers and all this sort of, excuse me, but like I learnt from, the experiences there, especially when it comes to things like, someone wants a pre-approval. Oh, when's your appointment? Oh, in 2 days' time. Well, how am I supposed to do something like that? How is Kim's a magician? I call her the superstar. But, so we change some processes and tell people stuff. But yeah, one thing I learned last year was not to take things, especially with work, personally.
Yeah.
Don't be too available and
it destroys you.
But then there's people that, I've got people that will call me. It doesn't matter. They're clients, but they're also people I care about. But they can call me anytime and I'll pick up their phone and I will reply straight away and what have you.
That's the same here for me, man,
But it's like, that was a massive, massive one, is the, not taking things too seriously.
And sometimes it's hard, man, because again, everyone has a point, but then at the same time, they may not have a point. I get that a lot. People messaging me, do you have anything available? It's like, dude, for the past few days, I've just been saying, here's the link. So just like everybody else, all you got is just tap the link.
Just block, bro.
And what's part of what I've been doing for the past 12 years, it's been looking after people. But the most funny part has been firing people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we've spoken about this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I get boys always asking, what do you mean you fire people? How can you fire someone?
You're your own
Easy,
HR,
man.
bro.
This is my house.
Yeah.
This is my rule. This is my chair. You know, I'll respect you enough for you to come in and respect me enough to just sit down and let me do my thing.
But that's like friends, right?
Simple,
Same thing with friends.
simple,
Same concept.
you know, it's a simple, but you know, it's also quite amazing to see how people forget that.
But people are also rude.
That's just people, man. It's just life.
Yeah.
If everyone was as kind,
I found last year people were just it just said because of the hard, you know, they didn't think about the other person's situation. It's like the smile on, you know, this, you know, walk past, you know, someone's got a miserable face, but then someone smiles at them. You know, smile can be contagious or whatever.
Absolutely.
But like, you don't know, the person who's smiling might have some shit going on. They might financially
as a matter of fact,
buggered.
most of the time, the most happiest people. I mean, look at yourself and I, for instance.
Yeah.
We're constantly smiling and being clowns. Let's face it. But deep down, there's times that we're like, oh man, you know, I need help. But even you and I sometimes don't know how to ask for help.
No, we don't ask for help.
It's just human nature.
Yeah.
So we need to constantly remind ourselves that it's okay to feel a certain way, but it's not okay not to talk about it. It's not okay to just push it down the carpet.
Put that on a bumper sticker.
Yeah, absolutely. Boom. I'm gonna get it made.
Yeah. So, big thing for you for this year. What's a big? Because obviously we talk all the time, and like one thing I think you have, you've got so many good attributes about what you do, like the training and groom's cut and stuff. But like, and in general, but you know, do you have any plans to do anything like honestly, like a barber shop kind of barber chair shop chat or something like that?
100%, man. Would love to start
where it's
something.
a more organized thing, but it's still chill.
Yeah. I would love to turn my chair into a full-time therapy chair.
Yeah.
Very honest with you. My focus this year is education.
Yeah.
I have about 300 odd clients that have been loyal to me for years. I'm going to break a lot of hearts eventually. I can't be cutting forever, man.
You better,
So I feel like, you know, at this age, don't worry, you're top of the VIP
I know where you
list. My aim from this year onwards, I just feel like I need to give back, because from traveling around, and again, no offense against anyone that's within the industry, this industry, any other industry, there's a lot of empty promises that have been given out, especially to our youth in New Zealand. I've noticed it, and I strongly say this because of the amount of traveling I've done, the amount of conversations I've had with 17-year-olds, all the way to the age of 35. Majority of these education centers or schools, they just promise the world to these people. They charge them an arm and a leg, and then
it's not the support and care is. I mean, we could.
Not there.
That's for another podcast.
Yeah.
But I agree with you on that too.
So my focus this year is, as a one-man band, you know, I've always said you can change the world with one haircut at a time. I've always said this to all my clients.
That's another bumper sticker.
Yeah. You know, you can literally change someone's world or a world with one haircut at a time. So I'm putting that perspective into education now.
Yeah.
Because when I run my workshops, when a lot of people hear, oh, Sean's running a workshop, they immediately think, oh, he's just going to show us how to do a fade, no.
I'm glad you're talking about this, because
my workshops are not just about cutting hair. As a matter of fact, they're not about cutting hair. My workshops are about connecting with people, bringing people together, and showing them that, listen,
and stuff,
absolutely,
right?
and just proving to people that, you know, at the end of the workshop, look around you. You have different ethnicity, you have different skin color, you have different language, you have different everything.
Religion also.
But we are all under one roof. And that's what's missing.
Yeah.
So majority of our workshops are focused on bringing people together, making connection, not just amongst themselves, but also for myself to be able to carry on and keep delivering. So most of my students are surprisingly hairdressers, because barbers are just too much egos going on at the moment, especially in Auckland. And if you notice,
I know, bro.
If you notice, I don't know if you've noticed, but that's just everyone in Auckland, not just barbers. Everyone that works within Auckland, obviously being a bigger apple, everyone knows everything. But at the same time, when you actually dig deep, nobody knows shit.
Yeah.
We all have capacity to learn more and to do more and to give more. But everyone's under this impression of, no, I'm just going to be the gatekeeper, and that's it.
Mm.
Well,
but again,
life's changing,
attitudes,
generations
right?
changing,
Attitudes.
Everything's changing. So if you don't adapt with times, man, you fall behind. That's what I've seen within Auckland. So it's been so nice and great to be able to travel New Zealand, meet with different hairdressers, learn about them, not just with the trade, about their personality, what they're good at, what can they contribute. And you won't believe it, man. Like the year before, last year was horrible for everyone. The year before, single-handed, I did 174 workshops. That was a freaking great year for me.
You did 174? Because you were doing them on like either...
I was doing them on Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, Monday, Tuesday.
And then
which were your kind of days off usually,
Pretty much.
So I know Sunday was your only day off.
6 days a week, yeah. So Sunday was pretty much purely my family day, which majority of the time I still end up in the swimming pool with the kids. And that's my family. So really, technically, it's not really a day off because you still got to be present. And it's those 3 a.m.s that keeps me going.
Keeps
but
you going.
Monday, Tuesday was dedicated to workshop. The demand got so much that it was just too good to turn down. Again, I don't say this, obviously financially it was great. But when I say demand, the demand of people wanting to... What is this about, man? Like, because every single person that has walked away from these workshops has either been in tears or they've been smiling from ear to ear. I've done quite a few business mentoring with smaller barbershops. They ask me, how do you survive in a cabin at the end of the driveway, but I got a shop up front, main road? So that's the route I want to take this year. Just to be able to help, and give back, and obviously get rewarded for it. But that's my goal. There's going to be a lot of broken hearts because, like I said, boys, I can't be cutting hair forever.
No, get that carpal tunnel, don't you? There's a carpal tunnel
to pull up. Yeah, already playing up.
Well, at least you're insured, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. That's another thing. Get yourself a good insurance. Thanks to you, man. Breaking things down, not seriously, because that's been a concern, and to know that I'm covered in different. I mean, that was one of those things. I mean, we never pushed that, but like you actually, I remember when you first got the insurance, it was just to like bare minimum, and obviously because you were working for someone, and then you've obviously when you've done it, you started working for yourself, got a bit better, but it was like Coco was obviously you're like, man, need to get her this. Absolutely.
And obviously you've used the medical for her. And I mean,
100%. It was numbers of times.
It was really early on, eh?
My daughter was born pretty much lactose intolerant.
And
that was such a huge concern because we went to private doctors, left, right, center, and these bills are expensive, man.
Like it was like $450 at a time.
Each visit at the time was just $450, then plus whatever they gave on top. So, thanks to you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you took the initiative, and like obviously we were talking, but like but you chipped away. But as soon as you had Coco, you were like, "Yo, bro, I need this. I need her to be on like the Mac Daddy," and then I mean even with Kobe as well.
Yeah, all of them are covered, man.
We won't tell that funny story though about the that you got it refunded, eh? Yeah, mate.
That was done nicely, smoothly.
Thank you, NIB.
Yeah, thank you guys.
You sponsored this today, but no, not officially. But I mean, you took the initiative, and then even with Anna and stuff like that, like, and I mean, like usually we talk about insurance and stuff.
Yes.
And so, like, it's not about insurance. It's about like, this has been a good chat because I think it's valuable, but on the insurance side of things, you were the one that came to me. You took the initiative because you saw the value, but also you trusted me.
Absolutely, bro. So the value I saw in this. Okay, so going back a little, to tell you a little story. When my father was diagnosed with motor neuron disease, that was a disease that unfortunately nobody can do anything. So I watched this man deteriorate in 11 months. When we were told he's got 4 years.
Yeah,
it got to a point he couldn't move, he couldn't swallow. It was just skin and bone. Right?
Yeah.
When it came to the end of his life, dad being old school and everything was private, my papers are here, no one. It came to the funeral, I'm like, okay, we need to now start discussing about the coffin, about the ground, but who's going to pay for all of this?
Oh, because he obviously didn't have any cover.
No,
because you don't think about it.
No, that's the thing. So
it's education and stuff.
That's it.
Like
he only had a $20,000 cover. And that $20,000 cover covered his few bits and bits that he had remaining.
Yeah.
And it was just enough to purchase the ground. And that's when, you start realizing, shit, man.
Yeah.
You had all this opportunity to sit down. You got 4 boys.
Mm.
You had all this opportunity to sit down and actually maybe talk about it, or maybe, do some research about it.
That was like my dad, though.
That's the thing,
Just
So
yeah.
when Coco, when I watched my dad pass away, and I realized, okay, we were quite lucky in that department, so we could cover. 4 of us were there to cover all the expenses and whatnot. But when I started aging, that's when I found out what you do for work. I said, Craig, you're going to get something in place, man. Because you just don't know, man. You just don't know. And to some people, it's quite funny because some people, they look at paying for life insurance or medical insurance as a waste of money. They feel like, I'm just chipping, but nothing's happening. But nothing needs to happen.
But it's an investment.
Absolutely.
I mean, we've had that.
Absolutely. If nothing happens, then hooray, nothing happened.
Then you're tickety-boo, you're healthy.
Yeah. But if something does go sideways,
yeah,
then you want to have the peace of mind that, cool, you're not going to be waiting 3 months just to get a checkup. You can just go straight in.
Yeah.
And, it was the biggest proof for us, especially with Coco.
Yeah.
Doctors, they were giving us 2-3 months. You have to wait.
Yeah.
Just for a dietitian to check it out, not even do any test.
Yeah.
But, with NIB and the insurance being on place, straight into private doctors, and within hours it was done. Yeah. Yes, the bill was high, but it gets returned.
Yeah. So. No, man. I mean, and that's the cool thing. I think, you just, from your situation, even with mine, like, it was financially crippled me for after dad passed. And I mean, poor credit ratings and all sorts. So it was tough. There was an aftermath, but and then I kind of fell into it. But it's like you knew that from just your own experience too. But it doesn't have to come from a negative place. It's more just how much you value. Yeah. But man, how are we for time? No. Okay, sweet. Well, bro, I really appreciate you coming on. I'd like to, to be honest, we could talk for
hours,
a lot longer.
Hours. We can go for hours.
I'd have to bring Guy about 3 coffees, I'm sure. Yeah. But no, I appreciate it, bro.
I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much for having me. We do need to do this again. But absolutely.
I'd like to,
would love to.
And I'm in full support of anything that you do in terms of giving back, and you give back every day, bro. So that
I do my best. I do my best.
But that's an awesome thing, man. And I think,
thank you, brother.
I'm excited to see what the year brings for you and beyond.
You, man.
What was I going to say? I want like a free wall thing, for my face. Yeah. Nah, but I appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you,
Thanks
man.
for coming on.
No worries. Before we leave, I want to leave you with something, and everybody else that are legitimately, when you wake up and you just feel like craps.
Yep.
Have you ever experienced that? You just wake up and it's not your
Tuesday,
day, right? Today's Tuesday. Honestly, this method has worked on me, and I'll guarantee it will work on anybody else if they try it. So when you wake up every morning, bro, spend 10 minutes, write down what's pissed you off, what you're angry about, any little thing that annoys you. 10 minutes. It shouldn't take you longer than 10 minutes.
Please tell me you burn it.
Yep. Then you just read it. You either burn it or you just rip it to pieces. And believe it or not, it's all gone. Then what's left of it, that's what you need to work on. So if there's anything left at the end of that note that you're still stressing about or is bugging you, and like I said, this goes for males and females. That's what you need to sit down and work on.
So wake up on the wrong side of the bed.
Wake up on the wrong side of the bed. I've woken up.
What if the problem's sitting to the left of you?
If the problem is sitting to the left, then you still go and
you write it down.
What the issue is, just to free yourself.
Yeah.
Not so much. You can always contribute by starting a communication or a conversation, but I'm talking about males in particular here because I feel like we don't really get valued as much, which is normal, So the best thing you can do is take the step for yourself, save yourself, and then everything else will just fall in place.
Yeah, man. It's all that. I think it's on the page of when I used to do attitude. You wake up, you got to You wake up with a shitty, like if you
And
feel
it's
shit,
completely
you
normal,
get
man.
to pick your attitude and always have gratitude. And yeah, it sounds very kumbaya, but it worked for me when I had it written on a whiteboard. Because, man, you know, like the only person that can get you out of your cuck feeling
yourself.
is you. I mean, you can, it doesn't matter how much you would say or, you know, guy, my mate, whatever, it doesn't matter.
It's all
You
in
know,
here.
it's,
And
I
I've
think,
experienced it like
but
lately.
you can create your surroundings.
Yep.
But I mean, yeah, but that's a good one.
Yep.
I like that. Nah, I appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate
we'll do
you,
it again
brother.
soon.
Definitely, my man. Thanks,
Thanks,
you.
bro.
Awesome.